Yes, good evening all. Good evening all. Good evening people.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, so last class we were going with what? Ellipse, right? Yes or no? We have done with ellipse actually.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, today we will just go with hyperbola. We'll start with hyperbola. Hyperbola. Just a minute. Yes, I think we have left with any problems? No, we have done with all these things. Guys, hyperbola is as same as ellipse actually, but only the small change in the hyperbola is eccentricity part. So eccentricity of the ellipse is what? Eccentricity of the ellipse is what? Can you see the screen here? Oh, I'm not sharing the screen, I'm writing. Yes, Dhairya, how after many days you're joining the class, am I correct? Dhairya, are you here? Yes. Dhairya, are you here or not? Oh, he's not here. Look at this here. Hyperbola is nothing but what? Basically, it is a locus of point which moves such that the locus of point which moves such that ratio of its distance from a fixed point to its distance. Same ellipse definition only from the line from the from a fixed line. Fixed line is always constant, which is nothing but greater than 1. So look at this here is hyperbola is nothing but it is a locus of point which moves such the ratio of distance from a fixed point to distance from a fixed line is always constant. What is the meaning of this? See here, let me take a curve. Okay, in parabola what we have learned, this is a point which is x comma y. Okay, people, this is my directrix line, fixed line. I call this as what? I call that as what? Directrix. Okay, this is a point P here. So this point P is a point P and this is a focus. Okay, this is a focus F. So here, what is the meaning of the eccentricity? I mean, how do I define the hyperbola? In ellipse, what used to happen? Look at this here, PS, and you say a PF. PF upon this PM is constant, is equal to constant. Where in hyperbola, here also PF upon PF is equal to constant, which I call that as eccentricity. Okay, the ratio of PF and PM I call as eccentricity. Okay, people,
Yes, sir.
eccentricity. Eccentricity का मतलब क्या होता है? Eccentricity is nothing but देखो ये है ना पॉइंट, हाउ फार, कितना हट के है, आई मीन लाइक यू नो हाउ डिस्टेंस, हाउ मच डिस्टेंस, कितना हट के, हम लोग हिंदी में बोले तो कितना हट के है, ठीक है, आई मीन हाउ फार इट इज, लाइक यू नो हाउ मच डिस्टेंस इट इज इन. ओके, सो पी एफ अपॉन दिस रेशियो क्या होगा, कांस्टेंट होगा. तो हमेशा वो कांस्टेंट क्या होता है इधर, वेयर वेयर I mean eccentricity, let me write, simply, just a minute, you say usually, you write where E is equal to eccentricity, ठीक है, E is equal to eccentricity and this E should be always greater than 1 बेटा. हाइपरबोला में eccentricity हमेशा greater than 1 होता है. क्यों? वही देखो, ये eccentricity बेटा, देखो मैंने क्या बोल रहा हूँ, eccentricity in hyperbola, this is ellipse, right, this is a parabola. Okay, हाँ, this is my parabola, directrix. Okay, eccentricity of the parabola will be equal to 1. Eccentricity of the ellipse will be equal, I'm sorry, less than 1, and eccentricity of the hyperbola would be greater than 1. ठीक है, समझ रहे हो? This is very very important. Eccentricity of the hyperbola would be greater than 1. Ellipse eccentricity would be lesser than 1, and eccentricity of the parabola would be equal to 1. ठीक है, so in that is why we used to write in parabola. In parabola, look at this here. In parabola, how we used to write? If I take this as a focus, this any point here, and this is directrix line. मैंने क्या लिखता था? How I used to write? देखो, this distance होता है ना, ये this is m here, and this is my directrix equation. In fact, in ellipse, how we used to write? This is focus. This is focus. ये distance, this distance would be always greater than, I mean always lesser than 1 in ellipse. Here in parabola, PF upon PM would be lesser than 1. Here, how it is to happen? Here F1, F2, if I take point P, as I know that from F2P plus F1P will be always equal to 2. That is what we have learned. Or how I used to define? How I used to define? Either जो भी है PF, sorry, here equal to 1 beta. In hyperbola में क्या होता है? Equal to 1. Here PF upon PM would be lesser than 1. ठीक है? Here equal to 1. Here क्या है? Here PF upon PM would be greater than 1 in hyperbola. So this ratio, same ratio, in parabola I'll be writing equal to 1, in ellipse less than 1, in hyperbola greater than 1. So this is how we will be, talking about this, parabola, hyperbola. This is what the basic difference between these conic sections actually. Okay, so now let's, get to the next thing. So I said PF upon PM is equal to constant, which is called as eccentricity, which is greater than 1, I said. Okay, so now E, and can I say this ratio is eccentricity? Yes or no? Yes, I'm calling that as eccentricity. Now, can I say PF upon PM is greater than 1? Can I say or not? Yes or no, people? Yes or no? Then PF is greater than PM, can I say?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? हाँ, देखो, now just have a look at PF greater than PM. I'll just tell you what does it mean actually. Okay, so we'll talk about now standard equation of the hyperbola. Standard equation of the hyperbola. Okay, standard equation of the hyperbola is what? X square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. Okay, x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1, and where b square is equal to what? B square is equal to what? A square into e square minus 1 or 1 minus e square. बेटा here e square minus 1 होना चाहिए, ठीक है? This is for hyperbola, ठीक है? In ellipse, how we used to write? Basically, ellipse equation is same. देखो, hyperbola equation is as like as ellipse. Guys, whatever I write here, same thing I'm writing, but I'm changing in minus. That's it. Okay, okay, people. Here eccentricity is what?
Yes.
Less than 1. Now where b square, how I used to write? B square is equal to a square into 1 minus e square. Why? Because here eccentricity is lesser than 1, right? Eccentricity is lesser than 1. That is the reason I'm writing 1 minus e square. Here eccentricity is greater than 1, beta. eccentricity is greater than 1. So that is the reason we are writing b square is equal to a square minus e square minus 1, where e is greater than 1. So that is the reason I'm writing like that. Sir, yeah. Okay, people. ठीक समझ रहे हो आप?
Yes, sir.
Eccentricity is greater than 1. That is the reason. Here, so standard equation of hyperbola. Let me erase all this. So, okay. Now, in ellipse, we used to write b square is equal to a square into 1 minus e square. Now here, in ellipse, what we learned? Horizontal ellipse and vertical ellipse like this, right? In hyperbola also, we'll be learning about horizontal hyperbola and vertical hyperbola. But the horizontal hyperbola, we call it as transversal hyperbola. We do not call as a horizontal hyperbola. We call that as a transverse hyperbola. Yes, in fact, you can remember like in horizontal hyperbola also, but technical name of that horizontal hyperbola is transversal hyperbola. I mean transverse hyperbola. What is that? Transverse hyperbola. Transverse hyperbola is nothing but you say horizontal. You say this as a horizontal hyperbola. Horizontal hyperbola. See, basically hyperbola symbol would be, this is how we write the hyperbola. Look at this. This is how we write here. Now this is my y-axis. This is my x-axis. Okay. Here, in ellipse, how we used to write beta? Directrix used to be outside of the ellipse like this. This is my directrix. Yes or no? M dash. Okay. M and M dash. Directrix used to be like that. But in hyperbola, directrix would be inside this. Inside. This is my directrix here. This is my directrix. Sir, what directrix, like, why the directrix line is inside of the hyperbola? Can anyone of you tell me the reason? Guys, look at it here. This is my focus. Focus would be same. What is the focus of the ellipse? AE comma 0, plus or minus AE comma 0, right? Here also plus or minus AE comma 0 only. So this is minus AE comma 0, and this focus also AE comma 0. Okay, okay, people. This, of course, this is origin, and here this is my directrix. Directrix equation. What we used to write? Directrix equation: x is equal to minus a by b, and here also x is equal to a by e. This is what my directrix equation. Okay, guys, look at this here. I'm telling you again, this is how we used to draw a directrix line. This is my fixed line. This is how I used to draw in ellipse. But in hyperbola, look at this. This fixed line is inside of the hyperbola. Why it is so? Why beta? Look at this here. मैंने बताया था आपको, PF is greater than PM, right? PF is greater than M. So if I take any point here, this PF greater than PM. If I take any point on the hyperbola, I mean directrix M, this is P, and this PF है ना, ये PF is greater than PM. समझ रहे हो? तो can I write now PM is lesser than PF? Can I say? Both are correct only, right? Yes or no? PF is greater than PM या PM is lesser than PF, दोनों बराबर ही है ना? हेलो, yes or no children? अरे यार, मैंने ये बता रहा हूँ. I'm saying that 2 is greater than is nothing but this also can be written as, I mean, sorry, not 2 is greater than 2 is, one second, I wrote, how can this possible, Babu? 3 is greater than 2 is nothing but 2 is lesser than 3. Both are correct or not? Both are correct statements or not? Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm writing here. ठीक है. अभी समझो इसका बात, इसका प्रिंसिपल क्या है, इसका मीनिंग क्या है, एक बार समझ लीजिए. ठीक है. Here PM is greater than PF. थोड़ा ये PM क्या है, ग्रेटर है ना. I mean PM is not lesser than PF. ये जो PF है ना, PF, ये PF is greater than PM. थोड़ा उसी लिए ये डायरेक्ट्रिक्स वाला लाइन है ना, उसी लिए थोड़ा वो अंदर आ गया ऐसा. समझ रहे हो? दिस इज द रीजन व्हाई इट इज लाइक दैट. ओके, समझ लीजिए थोड़ा क्यों ऐसा अंदर आ रहा है वो. ठीक है. व्हाई दैट लाइन इज गेटिंग फ्रेम्ड इनसाइड द हाइपरबोला, व्हाई इट इज हैपनिंग लाइक दैट. सो ट्राई टू इमेजिन दैट. So that is how we will be drawing the directrix line inside of the hyperbola. Okay, people? Yes. So here now here this is okay, fine sir. This is transverse hyperbola. Now ये horizontal, I mean, like, this is a horizontal hyperbola beta. Horizontal hyperbola, we call it as a transverse hyperbola, but don't call it as horizontal hyperbola. We need to call that as transverse hyperbola, since the technical name of that particular horizontal hyperbola is given as transverse hyperbola, so everyone must call that as a transverse hyperbola. Don't say it's a horizontal vertical. It is a wrong way of pronouncing. Okay, and nothing wrong if you remember, if you want to remember in that way, but you can remember, but technically you need to call it as a transverse hyperbola. Okay, now we'll talk about vertical hyperbola. Vertical hyperbola is nothing but what? Conjugate hyperbola. What is it? Conjugate hyperbola. Conjugate hyperbola. See, ये होता है मेरा vertical. ठीक है, vertical hyperbola. ठीक है, vertical hyperbola. In fact, like आपको ये थोड़ा, guys, for your understanding purpose, I'm writing horizontal, vertical. आप you can call that, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, मगर whenever you are writing an exam, don't write like that. I'm saying. ठीक है, so how it will be similarly. Look at this, ये होता है ना, ऐसा होता है बस. Vertical hyperbola, it will be like this. देखो ये होगा मेरा y axis, ये होगा x axis. Then directrix should be, where would be the directrix? Tell me. Directrix इधर होता है, देखो directrix. ठीक है, हाँ. Similarly, what would be the foci? Foci क्या होगा? Similarly, everything is same. What would be the foci? Tell me foci. Here plus or minus a comma 0. You say here 0 comma b, here 0 comma minus b. That's what, right? That is what we used to write in ellipse also. And now what is the vertex here? What is the vertex? बेटा वर्टेक्स का नथिंग बट, देखो ये पॉइंट ऑफ कांटेक्ट है ना, पॉइंट ऑफ कांटेक्ट दिस कोनिक, इसको ये आई विल बी कॉलिंग दिस शेप एज कोनिक. ठीक है, पॉइंट ऑफ कांटेक्ट ऑफ कोनिक एज वेल एज एक्सिस इज व्हाट? वर्टेक्स. आई टोल्ड यू इन अ पैराबोला लेसन, पॉइंट ऑफ कांटेक्ट ऑफ दिस कोनिक एंड दिस एक्सिस, इसी को बोलता हूं मैंने एक्सिस. आई कॉल दिस एज एक्सिस, पॉइंट ऑफ कांटेक्ट एक्सिस एंड पॉइंट ऑफ कांटेक्ट ऑफ एक्सिस एंड कोनिक इज वर्टेक्स. ठीक है, दिस इज माय वर्टेक्स. ओके पीपल, एनी डाउट्स?
No, sir.
तो देखो कोई चेंज नहीं है इधर, ओनली चेंज हियर इज व्हाट? ओनली चेंज इज व्हाट? एवरीथिंग इज सेम. सेम फोकस, सेम कोऑर्डिनेट, सेम वर्टेक्स, सेम डायरेक्ट्रिक्स, सेम फोकस, length of the transverse hyperbola, length of the conjugate hyperbola, which is nothing but what? Length of transverse hyperbola is what? Length of transverse hyperbola is like length of major axis. Length of conjugate hyperbola is like length of minor axis. Whatever we used to call minor axis in ellipse, here we call it as conjugate hyperbola. Getting my point?
Sir.
Getting my point? बेटा मैंने क्या समझ रहे हो आप? देखो what I'm trying to say is here or the x-axis, along with x-axis, if I have an ellipse like this, along with x-axis, this is what my major axis. Okay, this is what my minor axis, isn't it? So y axis के along ellipse है, तो देखो बेटा मैंने क्या बता रहा हूँ, देखो फिर से बताऊंगा. This is, if my x axis is along with this, my major axis will be what? In horizontal hyperbola, major axis should be along with x axis. ठीक है, and minor axis should be along with y axis. ठीक है, this is how it used to be, right? This is how it will be basically. In horizontal ellipse it will be like that. In vertical ellipse, how it will be? Tell me. This is going to be my minor axis, ulta, and this is going to be my major axis. ठीक है, this is what we have learned. Similarly here also, देखो ये जो लेंथ है ना, ये वाला क्या होता है अभी? My major axis. Major axis I call it as transversal axis. What do I call that? Transverse axis, not transversal, transverse. And this axis is called as what? Conjugate axis. Okay, this is my conjugate axis. सर या ओके पीपल, समझ रहे हो? ठीक, कोई बात, कोई डाउट इधर?
No, sir.
ठीक है सब, ये ओके ठीक है. नाउ ट्रांसवर्सल हाइपरबोला, इसका स्टैंडर्ड इक्वेशन क्या होता है बेटा? एक्स स्क्वायर बाई ए स्क्वायर माइनस वाई स्क्वायर बाई बी स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 1. ठीक है, एक्स स्क्वायर बाई ए स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू माइनस वाई स्क्वायर बाई बी स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 1, वेयर एसेंट्रिसिटी. ठीक है, एसेंट्रिसिटी क्या होता है? ग्रेटर देन 1 होता है. ठीक है, दिस इज स्टैंडर्ड इक्वेशन ऑफ ट्रांसवर्स हाइपरबोला, हॉरिजॉन्टल हाइपरबोला. ठीक है, एंड व्हाट इज द standard equation of vertical hyperbola, which is nothing but this conjugate hyperbola. What is the standard equation? कोई नहीं है, similar. देखो y square by a square, I mean y square by b square minus x square by a square would be equal to 1. समझ रहे हो? हाँ, look at this here, as I told you बेटा. हाँ, what is the difference बेटा here? Here, here, here क्या होगा? Positive x axis. Here x axis would be positive, here y coordinate would be positive. ठीक है, समझ रहे हो ना?
Sir.
Here how do I define, how do I just say vertical hyperbola's equation and I mean conjugate hyperbola's equation and transverse hyperbola's equation. Equation of the transverse hyperbola is in equation of the transverse hyperbola, this x will be right, coordinate of x coordinate would be, this x will be the right, coefficient of x would be positive बेटा, ऐसा समझो. ठीक है, here coefficient of y would be positive in conjugate hyperbola, where again e is greater than 1. Basically you can write, or even you don't write, no problem, you write simply where b square is equal to what, a square into 1 minus e square है, e square minus 1, e square minus 1 here. समझ लिए, समझ रहे हो ना? yes or no people? हाँ, here what is the a, here a square is equal to b square into e square minus 1. Okay, people look at this here, here b square will write, here will write a square. Be careful with that. Hope it is clear with you all. Hope it is clear with you all. कोई इसमें कोई बड़ा change नहीं है. It is as like as the ellipse only. So need not to bother about it much. ठीक है. Now shall we write the table? Shall we write the table? From the looking, from by looking at the
Yes, sir.
diagram, write the table. How, what is the table? Table is very important. बेटा table से बहुत काम पड़ता है आपको. Like without table you can't solve the questions. So we'll write coordinates of the center. ठीक है, coordinates of the vertices, coordinates of the foci, length of transverse axis, length of conjugate axis. Next, equation of directrices, eccentricity, latus rectum, इक्वेशन ऑफ ट्रांसवर्स एक्सिस. वन सेकंड गाइस, थोड़ा मैं इसको क्या करूंगा, थोड़ा इसको नीचे ऐसा लग दूंगा. ठीक है, here you can write, no problem. Look at this, equation of, I just missed one thing here. Equation of transverse axis, equation of, I'm writing in a short way guys, try to understand conjugate axis. ठीक है, so length of latest rectum. हाँ, बस इतना आपको टेबल में बनाना चाहिए. ठीक है, एवरीवन मस्ट मेक ए टेबल हियर. सो हियर थोड़ा ऐसा कर लेंगे एक बात. let's do one thing here. Let's write like this. Okay, we'll just, guys, I'm not drawing properly, please try to थोड़ा समझ लीजिए इसको बस. need not to, थोड़ा समझ लीजिए. ठीक है, हाँ. Now we'll write one by one here. This is what, first let us write transverse hyperbolas. Here y square by b square minus x square by a square. Guys, what is the change, what is the difference between these two? Here x will be positive, here y will be positive. देखो, that is the only difference. Everything is same. Okay, everything is same. ठीक है, everything is going to be same. ठीक है पापा? हाँ.
Yes, sir.
हाँ. Now let us write one by one. What are the coordinates of center? Coordinates of center is what?
0,0.
The center. देखो, this is standard hyperbola, standard parabola, standard ellipse. Coordinates of center would be always 0,0. उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं है. ठीक है, ठीक है guys, make this table. neatly थोड़ा मैंने neat, I'm not making it neatly actually. ठीक है, थोड़ा मैंने neat, not making neatly, make it, just try to have it neatly. Okay, coordinates of center is what? Of course 0 comma 0. Okay, it is 0 comma 0 of course, and here be 0 comma 0, and coordinates of vertices is what? Plus or
So
minus
for
a
the
comma.
first plus or minus a comma 0.
Here 0 comma plus or minus भी, ठीक है, समझ रहे हो ना, सेम, कोई चेंज नहीं है. If you open and look at the have a look at the ellipse table, that will be also, that also will be in the similar way. What is the change? I'll tell you now. What is the foci? Plus or minus a comma 0. Here also plus or minus 0 comma plus or minus b. Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Length of transverse axis. Length of transverse axis is nothing but it's like a major axis. What it was? 2a. And length of transverse axis, you know, in vertical, I mean conjugate hyperbola is what? 2b. ठीक है. Now length of conjugate axis is what? Length of minor axis. इसमें 2b था, इसमें क्या हो जाएगा? 2a हो जाएगा. समझ रहे हो ना? People, yes or no? Equation of transverse axis is what here? Equation of transverse axis. Y is equal to 0 here, then here x is equal to 0. Here x is equal to 0, then here y is equal to 0. Look how simple it is. Next, equation of directrices. X is equal to plus or minus a by e. Here x is equal to, not x is equal to, y is equal to. Y is equal to plus or minus b by e. Okay. Now eccentricity is what here? Eccentricity, guys, I'll be solving from the formula. What is the formula? I'll be writing eccentricity directly here. I'll show you how we got that. Guys, eccentricity alone will be changing here. Please don't write as like as, you know, ellipse table here. Same, everything is same except eccentricity wala. ठीक है? Length of latest rectangle is same, 2b square by a, 2a square by b. हाँ, guys, I'm telling you, right? Here eccentricity for this, eccentricity for this vertical and horizontal hyperbola. How can I just go with this? Guys, from this if I solve eccentricity value, मुझे मिलेगा a square plus b square by a square plus b square by a square. From this I'll be getting a eccentricity value as square root of b square plus or a square plus b square by b square. आपको ऐसा अच्छा नहीं लगता है तो ऐसा लगेगा बस. So a square plus b square by b square. ठीक है? Eccentricity. This will be like this. This will be like this. Okay, people. Hope it is clear. Hope it is clear. Hope it is clear, guys. आपको कोई doubt है तो पूछ लेना बेटा. ठीक है? We will be solving the JEE questions now. Now we'll go with the formulas. Shall we go for the question, guys? See, that is the reason I asked you to be thorough with
Yes,
your
sir.
parabola. If you are good at parabola, this is very easy for you to understand. If you are good at parabola, it is very easy for you guys to understand ellipse. If you are good at ellipse, hyperbola is nothing, nothing at all. Believe me, nothing at all. What is the change here? Everything is same. Is there anything? Is there anything difference you have? Nothing difference except there is no difference at all except in eccentricity. Okay, everything is same. Everything is going to same except eccentricity. Eccentricity either greater than 1 होगा, in ellipse उधर less than 1 होगा, in parabola equal to 1 होगा. Now let me just give you the formulas. What are the things we have learned? Similar thing. Equation of क्या करेंगे? Equation of tangents in different forms. Same. If you open the notebooks in ellipse, also we learn same concepts, but formulas are different. The first one in slow form. In slow form. In slow form. What is the formula? Y is equal to mx plus or minus square root of a square m square minus b square here. ठीक है? A square minus, I mean a square m square minus b square. If I talk about point form, in point form, what would it be? Point form would be x1 by a square minus y1 by b square is equal to 1. Okay, here minus, that's it. In parametric form, in parametric form. Guys, most of the cases will be using these two only, not these. Many times you'll be using slope form and point form. Parametric form will be using very rare actually. Equation of the tangent. All these are what? This is equation of the tangent. This is also equation of the tangent. The thing whichever I'm writing now, x secant theta, or you write x, write like this: x secant theta by a minus y tan theta by b is equal to 1. What is the point of contact here? P is what? What is the point? Beta, look at this here. मैंने बता रहा हूँ here at point form, right? At point, what is the point? x1 comma y1 point. ठीक है? At point a secant theta comma b tan theta. Okay, this is how it used to be. So be careful here. Okay. हाँ, next equation of the tangent, guys. मैंने आपको एक बताता हूँ, ठीक है? Very simple thing. Very simple thing. Equation of the normal. We learned tangent, now equation of the normal to the hyperbola. How can you prove this? Guys, I told you the way of proving all this. ठीक है? I told you way of proving all this. इसमें कोई ज्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है. I mean, ज्यादा नहीं, कुछ डिफरेंस ही नहीं है प्रूव करने का. सबका एक ही प्रूफ होता है. सबका एक ही प्रूफ. एक ही प्रूफ is nothing but in a similar way you can prove all the stuff. Okay? In a similar way you can prove all the steps. So here equation of the normal to the hyperbola. So equation of the normal in point form, you say point form. Point form काफी है. अगर आपको कुछ तो भी चाहिए तो मैंने बता दूंगा, प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. In point form, just a minute. In point form, first let us write point form, no problem. In point form, look at this. Same thing, beta, a square x by, oh, 1 second. Whatever we wrote there, same thing will be writing a square x by x1 plus here थोड़ा b square y by y1 is equal to a square plus b square. ठीक है? Here hyperbola में ऐसा होता है. ठीक है? There we used to have minus actually, but here we'll be having plus. ठीक है? हाँ. So next I think one thing is missing here. 1 second. I think one more formula should be given. हाँ. Guys, how many of you remember the formula? Look at this here. If at all you have a line, beta, देखो. Equation of the normal. Y is equal to, not Y is equal to, Lx plus My plus N is equal to 0 is the line. Or is the line is the normal, you write. Is the normal to hyperbola. X square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. Then what is the formula? Then a square by b L square minus b square by m square is equal to a square plus b square whole square. Whole square by n square. This is my normal equation is going to be. To what? If I have this line and this is a normal to this hyperbola, then normal equation is going to be this one. ठीक है? So ये बहुत important formulas है बेटा. Now just let's get into the questions. Hope it is clear बेटा. कोई doubt है इधर? कोई doubt है children? Guys, if you want proof of standard equations of this hyperbola beta, however we solved, similar way, in a similar way you need to solve for what? Hyperbola as well. Whatever the proof we have given for ellipse, similar way. इसमें कोई change नहीं है. Similar way you need to solve. ठीक है? समझ रहे हो? Getting my point? Hello?
Sir.
Yes. So next we'll talk about the questions. We'll talk about the question. This is what basic introduction. ज़्यादा कोई introduction ज़रूरत नहीं था hyperbola के लिए. Why? Because already whatever we have learnt in ellipse, same thing we'll be learning again here. कोई ज़्यादा change नहीं था. ठीक है? एक eccentricity के अलावा कोई उतना change नहीं था. Same था everything. So if a hyperbola passing through the point P, which is 10 comma 16, and it has vertices at plus or minus 6 comma 0, then the equation of the normal to it at point P dash. The equation of the normal at point P dash. This is beta JEE 2020 question. Very, very important. देखो all the previous year questions, I mean all the NTA questions I'm taking you. So which is very important. Make sure that you are doing this. I mean equation of the normal at P is what? Find the equation of the normal. Find out करना है आपको. तो option A, x plus 3y is equal to 58. Option B, given that x plus 2y is equal to 42. Option C, given that 3x plus 4y is equal to 94. So option D, given that 2x plus 5y is equal to 100. Okay, so let's see how can we solve this. Beta देखो, if a hyperbola passes through the point P 10 comma 16 and it has vertices is nothing but what? Beta देखो, hyperbola is talking about hyperbola. Vertices, this is the vertices here. ठीक है, this is the vertices. ठीक है, vertices what he has given here plus or minus 6 comma 0. So what hyperbola is talking about? Conjugate or transverse? Tell me now. Whether he's talking about, guys, which hyperbola it is going to be? Which hyperbola it is turn out to be? Tell me. Transversal hyperbola, conjugate hyperbola. Tell me. Are you here or not, people? Which hyperbola it is turn out to be? Of course, it is a transversal hyperbola. Sir, how you are saying? How you are saying? Tell me. Here, vertices. Vertices मुझे क्या था? Plus or minus a comma 0. This was for transversal hyperbola. Yes or no? Of course, this is my y-axis, this is x-axis, and this is x is equal to a minus a by e, x is equal to plus a by e, and I have focus here. Okay. So these were the, I mean, this, vertices. This is a vertex. How much given? 6 comma 0. 6 comma 0 here, and here how much? Minus 6 comma 0. So what type of hyperbola is this? Transversal hyperbola. So a value, what he has given? Given a is equal to 6. Am I correct? Yes or no, children? Any doubts here?
Sir.
Oh, 1 second. Given a is equal to 6. How we are, how we are identifying a is equal to 6? Given focus, I mean, given vertices as plus or minus 6 comma 0, which is nothing but plus or minus a comma 0, which is nothing but plus or minus 6 comma 0. So then a is equal to what? 6 or not? A is equal to 6 or not? Tell me. Yes or no? Yes. Look at this here. A is equal to 6. Now equation of horizontal hyperbola. I mean equation of transversal hyperbola is what? X square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. ठीक है? Yes or no? हाँ. Now this hyperbola passes through the point. 10 comma 16. This hyperbola passes through the point 10 comma 16. Given that passes through what? Given passes through. Guys, you need not write all these stuff. For your understanding purpose, मुझे ये लिखना पड़ रहा है, ठीक है? So I mean, given passes through what? Passes through this point लिखना है आपको. passes through the point. What he has given? Point P, 10, 16. So substitute करो इधर equation number 1 ले लिया मैंने. From the equation number 1, what can I do? 100 by a square minus 16 square, how much? 200 and sorry, 196, right? 196, not 196. 225, 256. Correct? 256 by b. b square is equal to 1. ठीक है? So what is my b square is going to be now? 100 minus a का value how much? A का value I got 36, right? I mean a का value 6 I got. So a square is going to be what now? 36. A square is going to be 36. So 100 out of 36 minus 1 is equal to 256 by b square. Okay. So 100 minus 36 how much? 64, correct? 64 by 36 is equal to 256 by b square. So b square value is going to be what now? 36 into 256 divided by 64. So what is the b square value is going to be? B square value is what? 64 ones, 64 fours, correct? Yes or no? So 36 into 4 how much? 144. B square value I got this much. Okay people? Yes or no? So from the first equation, now a square by x square by a square was 6. So a square, I mean a value was 6, a square becomes 36. So y square by b square 144 is equal to 1. So what he is asking us to do? He is asking us to find what? Equation of the normal. बेटा देखो क्या पूछ रहा है? Equation of the normal at point P. At point P पे equation of the normal देखो point P form, point form. Equation of the normal in point form was what? A square x plus, I mean a square x by x1 plus y b square y by b y1 is equal to a square plus b square. So equation of the normal in point form was what? A square x divided by x1 plus b square y by y1 is equal to a square plus b square. A square, what is a square here? 36. X1 is what? What is x? I mean not x, नीचे x1 लिखना है तो x 36x by x1. x1 is what? 10. बेटा at point P 10, 16 given. So x1 y1 given 10, 16. Substitute here. That's it. B square is 144 y divided by y1 16 is equal to a square plus b square. ठीक है? कोई डाउट इधर? Till this any doubt guys? कोई डाउट इधर? Guys, any doubts? Do we have any doubt here? LCM is what? 80. 80 is nothing but what? 10 a, I mean 36. So 36 into 8. How much? 36 into 8, 288x plus 85 for 144. So 720y is equal to how much? 180. So 288x plus 720y is equal to 180 into 8. ठीक है? So what can I take common here? 180 into 80 how much beta? 180 into 8. 18 8 144. 2 zeros. ठीक है? So can I take, what can we take common? 144 can I common? 144. So 2x plus 4y, not 4y, 105y. ठीक है? So 5y is equal to 144 00. So now look at it, 144 100 times. So what can I write now? 2x plus 5y is equal to 100. Okay people, this is my normal equation is going to be. Option is available or not? Whether the option is available? Option 2x plus 100 na? 2x plus 5y. Option D is correct. Koi doubt? Any doubts people? Tell me, make it fast. Guys, do you have any doubt here?
No, sir.
It is a very simple question. It's a very simple question. तो आपको करना ही चाहिए. Okay, आपको करना ही चाहिए. Very simple question. Next question. If E1 and E2 are the eccentricities eccentricities of the ellipse. X square by 18 plus y square by 4 is equal to 1, and the hyperbola x square by 9 minus y square by 4 is equal to 1. Okay, respectively, and E1 and E2. E1 and E2 is a point on the ellipse. Okay, point on the ellipse. Which ellipse? This one. Point on the ellipse 15x square plus 3y square is equal to k. Then k is equal to dash. Option A 14, option B 15, option C 16, option D 17. Okay. So this is what the thing given here. So what can I find? How can I find out? Guys, look at this here. E1, E2 are eccentricities of this ellipse. E1 is eccentricity of this ellipse. E2 is eccentricity of this hyperbola. Okay, and respectively, and E1 and E2 is a point on the ellipse. ठीक है, मुझे क्या करना है, मुझे फाइंड आउट करना है eccentricity 1 and eccentricity 2. E1 and E2 is a point on this ellipse. Then find out the value of k. कितना सा सिंपल है बेटा, देखो. This is also JEE question. I mean previous year JEE question. So let us find out first eccentricity 1. ठीक है, x square by 18 plus y square by 4 is equal to 1. Let us take equation number 1. And आपको फिर से दिया है, क्या दिया है, x square by 9 minus y square by 4 is equal to 1. Let us take this as second number equation. Okay, this is what is this? This is my ellipse. This is my hyperbola. होप, मैंने उम्मीद करता हूं कि आपको समझ में आ रहा है मैंने जो भी बात कर रहा हूं. पीपल, समझ में आ रहा है आपको? हेलो गाइस, व्हाट इज eccentricity in ellipse? What is eccentricity of the ellipse?
B square is equals to A square into 1 minus E square.
आपको ऐसे नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, देखो क्या करेंगे हम लोग, ये करेंगे. What is A square value? What is A square value? 18. B square value is what? 4. So we know that B square is equal to what? A square into 1 minus E square in ellipse. So B square value 4, A square value minus A square E square. ठीक है, yes or no? समझ में आ रहा है आपको? नहीं तो आप एक काम कीजिए, 18 will write here, 18 नहीं तो will write 18 here. We have 18 right? So 18 into 1 minus E square. ठीक है, तो क्या करेंगे, 1 minus E square is equal 4 by 18 or not? So 1 minus 4 by 18 is equal to E square or not? Yes or no? So E square value is what now? 14 by 18. Yes or no? 14 by 18. E का वैल्यू कितना होगा?
7 by 9.
7 by 9. ठीक है.
Sir, E square you are asking, right?
I mean E square value. Sorry, here E square is there. E square value. E square value 7 by 9. ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ठीक है, चिंता मत करने का. ठीक है, this in fact this is even, right? Eccentricity 1. Guys, eccentricity 1 only, right? हाँ, so we are finding eccentricity 1. Let us write in terms of E1 only. ठीक है बेटा. हाँ, ठीक है. Now eccentricity देखो, इसका E1 क्या है? E1 is eccentricity of the ellipse. E2 is eccentricity of the hyperbola. How can I find out here? देखो मुझे पता है A square is equal to 9 and B square is equal to what? 4. We know that condition क्या था? A B के बीच में B square is equal to A square into E square minus 1. हाइपरबोला में मैं अभी पढ़ाया था आपको. ठीक है, तो 9 into E square minus 1. तो E square minus 1 is equal to what? 4 by 9. तो E का वैल्यू क्या? E square value is what? 4 by 9 minus, I mean plus 1 in fact. So 13 by 9, correct? E square is equal to 13 by 9. Okay, E2 square in fact, E2 square. ठीक है. Okay, 13/9 परफेक्ट। हाँ आपको देखो बेटा व्हाट ही हैज गिवन हियर, गिवन दैट E1 E2 is the point, E1 E2 is the point on this ellipse, ठीक है guys, is this a standard ellipse? Is this a standard ellipse? No, need not to bother about whether it's a standard or not, but look at this here beta, E1 E2 is what, point on the, given that E1 and E2 are the point, E1 and E2 is the point, you say E1 and E2 is the point on 15x square plus 3y square is equal to k. Okay, so 15x square, x square is nothing but what, E1 square, yes or no? 7/9. 3 into y1 square is what, E2, 13/9 is equal to k. तो इसको सॉल्व कर लो, 15 7 105/9 plus 13 3 39/9 is equal to k. So 144/9, k value 144/9, 9 1 9 16, so k value मुझे मिलेगा 16. दिस इज मेरा फाइनल आंसर, k value ऑप्शन सी इज करेक्ट. समझ रहे हो? एनी डाउट्स? एनी डाउट गाइस?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll be giving you the homework questions today. I'll be sharing you all, so please make sure that you are solving those questions. Okay people, so please do revise and come to the class. मैंने फिर से बता रहा हूँ, अगर आप रिवाइज नहीं कर रहे हो, if you are not revising the notes, please do not join the class kindly. ये मेरा humble request है. Without revision you will not understand anything. I'm sure you will not understand, मतलब understand होगा, मगर you will not be able to solve the question. I kindly request everyone, please do not join the class if you are not revising. ठीक है, प्लीज डू रिवाइज एंड कम. ठीक है, रिवाइज करना मत भूलना. ठीक है, थैंक यू, गुड बाय. You can leave the session. Thank you.